Okay.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay, let me go on to what you had. Okay. I have to go back to here. Last time we stopped right here somewhere, I think, about Ajatasatru, the king. And we will continue on this thing. Okay, we already go to most of the wrong viewer minister, right?
Yes, I think we went through all the wrong view ministers, and then there was the one who Jivaka, the Buddha's physician, then spoke with.
He's here, and
Yeah.
he bring him to the Buddha, right? I think. Okay, I think. And remember, they mentioned about the same, right? The in the same and same before him, right? Before other that saved him, right? Basically saved the king. Remember, I just want to make sure we understand this correctly. Jivaka, do you think that he can be able to help the king if the king have no Sam?
No.
Okay, no. Because the king have Sam. Because if the king have no Sam, the wrong view minister will be able to convince the king. Right?
Right.
Therefore, now, because the king have Sam, right? Therefore, Chipika, he can avoid the wrong view, but he be able to understand and listen to Chivaka. Okay. And this is where it happened. I think. Okay, now you can go ahead. I think it's up from here.
You kings say there is no means of cure. Know, O great king, in Kapilavastu there was a prince, the son of Suddhodana. His family name is Gautama, and his personal name Siddhartha. Without anyone to teach him, he awakened to truth and spontaneously attained unsurpassed Bodhi, adorning his body thereby with the 32 signs of perfection and the 80 minor marks of excellence, gaining the 10 powers and the 4 fearlessnesses. He knows and sees all. Greatly compassionate, he pities all beings as he does his own son Rahula. He truly follows the way of life of beings, just as a calf walks after its mother. He knows when to speak and when not to. His words are true, pure, wonderful, and lawful, and in a single word from him, well cuts away the bond of defilement of all beings. He thoroughly knows the nature of the sense organs and the minds of all beings. He acts in a manner fitting to the occasion and enacts expedients, and there is nothing that is not known to him. His wisdom is great like Sumeru. It is deep and vast like the great sea. The Buddha, world-honored one, has adamantine wisdom, which thoroughly crushes out all the evils of beings. There is nothing that is not possible to him. Now 12 yohanas from here in the castle town of Kusangara, between the twin sal trees, he is addressing innumerable asamkhayas of bodhisattvas, all about such things as is or is not, the created or the uncreated, the leakable, the karma results of defilement or the karma results of the good dharma, matter or non-matter not non-matter, self or non-self or non-self not non-self, the eternal or the non-eternal or the not eternal not non-eternal, Bliss or non-bliss, or the non-bliss not non-bliss. Characteristics or non-characteristics, or the non-characteristics not non-characteristics. Segregation or non-segregation, or the non-segregation not non-segregation. The secular or the non-secular, or the non-secular not non-secular. Vehicle or non-vehicle, or vehicle not non-vehicle. Self-doing and self-receiving, or receiving from others, and non-doing and non-receiving. O great king, you should hear at the palace of the Buddha all about doing and non-receiving. All grave sins will be expiated.
Okay, good. Stop there.
So we did read this part last time because I remember the not non the not non stuff repetition.
And you know why I'm not known and not
Yeah, because I think it's kind of to cancel out ideas. So it's saying, like existence and non-existence. Well, those are both concepts. So really, neither can really describe the truth. And then so the not.
The karma result of defilement or the karma result of good dharma matter or non-matter, or non-matter, not non-matter. Oh wow, that's confused, right? So basically, okay, and okay, self or non-self, that means duality, right? Non-self, not non-self, that means double negative. The external and the non-external, or the non-external, not non-external. This is not cancel out. It's not simple like that. Bliss or non-bliss, or non-bliss, not non-bliss. Oh, this thing is not mean it's cancel out.
And what does it mean?
Okay. Let me read from beginning a little bit, so I will tell you. But the whole purpose, the Buddha taught that he know when he speak, when not to. His words are true, pure, wonderful, and lawful. A single word from him will cut away the bond of defilement of our being. The bond of defilement of our being. They thoroughly know the nature of sense, organ, and the mind of our being. He acts in a manner fitting to the occasion and in at the experience, and then nothing that is not known to him. His wisdom is right like some. It is deep like and vast like the Red Sea. This Buddha was on the one have animate wisdom, which totally cuts all the evil of being. There is nothing that is not possible to him. Now the 12 did the distance. 12 Yuyana from here in the castle tower, Kusinam Gara, between the twin tree. He is expressing immutable as he is Bodhisattva, all about something of ease or enough, trade or untrade. Takeable, sure, okay. Okay. Common result of defilement or common result of good. That means bad and good. Matter or non-matter. Non-matter or not non-matter. So basically, this thing here, usually, the reason he want to point out this thing is because the other religion, like the outer, that means the other religion, they always use this thing to debate. They always debate on this nonsense here. And remember, this is when we say all this thing here, it's not non. It doesn't make any sense. If we don't, let's say that when we say that matter, it's not matter, non-matter, not non-matter. Do you think that the person who's saying that they do it? Do you think they understand what they're saying?
I mean, I don't know, perhaps I'd have to kind of hear their explanation, but it's the term is confusing. If it's so matter, non-matter, non-matter that's not non-matter. It is kind of it's definitely confusing.
You
because
remember you learn about the from my teacher. You learn from him the Sangam Sangurama
Surangama.
Sutra, right? You
Yes,
remember about the Anand, the Buddha asked him about 7 places where his mind, right?
yeah, where they're talking about like inside the body, outside the body, and in the in-between place.
Right? So it doesn't matter where he said the Buddha reject all. Is that similar to this?
Matter or non-matter? Is it similar to that part? Huh. Well, I guess in the sense of, yeah, because the assumption that there's a location, that the mind is supported somewhere, that it's resting somewhere, like that's an assumption that's based upon the mind of duality and describing the world of things.
You know what? When let's say that between duality, that means between black and white, right? Between positive and negative, between good and bad, ugly and beautiful. It's easy to understand, right? But when if they try to confuse us, they will use something like this to confuse the one who follow them. So make them more important. Don't you think?
Yeah, I can see that. If you can, yeah, there is something I can understand that you can't understand, and so
Right. So
you should just do what I say.
yeah, I have more knowledge than you. You know what? Even though the Buddha point all these things out, and he said that this is, for example, in this sutra here, the Buddha asked that, what is the Buddha nature? Or what is the nirvana? And you know what? We try to explain here and there. The Buddha all reject. And they explain in similar way like this. Right? So when we have any kind of intellectual involved, that means you don't know the Buddha nature. And later on, you learn in this sutra, you will go deep into it. And as long as we do not have any attachment to the duality, not even single one. In this kind of talking like this, then we will be able to understand the Buddha nature. For example, the nirvana in the Theravada, right? Tradition. What does that mean? It means that it's the ultimate place for the happiness. But they do not know the nirvana. It comes from, actually, in order to attain the Theravada nirvana, they have to practice the 4 contemplation. You know what are the 4?
Yes, aren't they? Don't they overlap with it's like they're similar to the 4 seals, where it's impurity of the body, the impermanence of all things, and then emptiness, because if everything's impermanent, then it's empty.
No,
And
no. In the Theravada, they do not have the concept of emptiness.
oh, well, certainly they have suffering. Is suffering the other one?
Yeah.
And then
Basically,
no self.
impurity comes from the body. The feeling that gives us the suffering. Right? So when they contemplate on the impurity, on the suffering, and also on the impermanent, and also on the non-self. Remember, non-self doesn't mean emptiness. It's emptiness, but if we understand in the non-self as the emptiness in the Theravada, it's not clear. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, Dad.
Compared to the Mahayana, emptiness is truly emptiness. That means beyond the duality. So in this sutra, the Buddha reject that four seal of the Theravada. The Buddha said that, well, the rich nirvana in Mahayana in this sutra, it have instead of impurity, it's purity. Instead of suffering, it's happiness, or we call joy, right? The third one is impermanent, it's permanent. The fourth one is instead of non-self, it's the self. Why is the self? The Buddha nature is actually the Dhamma body. It represents for the self. Because they do not change. Because the law of the universe, it never changes. Does it make sense? Therefore, the Dhamma body it represents for the whole body of the universe law. And therefore, this is the true self. And remember, this one here is also impermanent. It never changes. Therefore, it's the true self right there. And also, due to that, it will have the true joy, a true happiness. Therefore, it's also pure, very pure. So anyway, this kind of teaching here, it tries to confuse us very easily, right? But the one we understand the core teaching of the Buddha, this kind of teaching here, that so that the Buddha wisdom is beyond this thing, beyond of nonsense debates. Okay. Okay, go ahead and read this one.
Oh, I think we read this one too last time.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
Did we come to here?
There's a prince called Savira. No, we did not go to that part.
We here?
I don't think we read that either.
Oh, did the Saka, right? Yeah, Saka. We read
Yeah.
about this one already.
Mm-hmm. I think it's right after that. I think it's just that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then as Sacro Devendra heard the Buddha's sermon, the 5 signs of decline all at once faded away. And he stood up, paid homage, walked around the person of the Buddha tree, the Buddha 3 times as a sign of respect, respectfully folded his hands and said, "O world honored one, I am now dead and am born. I have lost my life and gained it. I have now been told that as I take to the Buddha's path, I will gain unsurpassed Bodhi. This is a rebirth. This is a gaining life again. O world honored one, why do humans and gods increase in number? And why do they decline in number? O Kausika, because of quarreling and disputing, the number of humans and gods decreases. Through living harmoniously, their number grows. O world honored one, since by quarreling we decrease in number, from now on I shall not fight with the Asuras." The Buddha said, well said, O Kausika. The all Buddha world honored one says that forbearance is the cause of unsurpassed enlightenment. Then Sakro Devendra stepped forwards, paid homage to the Buddha, drew back, and went on his way. Yeah, so the essence of this one was that question of the chakra had for the Buddha of why do gods and humans decrease or increase, and it's by living harmoniously they increase, by quarreling they decrease. And so Chakra pledged not to fight the Asuras, because the Asuras are always like trying to break into heaven and take over heaven. So the heavenly beings, I know they kind of fight them back. So then the Buddha highlights the importance of endurance or kind of patience. The word that was used here was forbearance, I think, in like as being essential to the Buddha way. Where even if someone causes us harm, then we don't engage in some sort of anger-based quarrel with them.
So when after he listened to the Buddha teaching, his 5 signs of delight all disappear, right? And what did he listen to him about? Okay, greedy and inversion. Inversion, that means it's angry, right?
That would be
opposite, right?
Inversion. Yeah, inversion would be like seeing something upside down.
Oh, upside down. Okay, got it.
Yeah, or kind of like opposite, like an inverted picture. It's like everything light turns dark, everything dark turns light, like that's.
So that's what we are right now.
Is that where we are right now? Yeah, like my view of the world is an inverted view because I haven't realized enlightenment.
Is that we right now we always have that kind of view, right? We see the world upside down. For example, we respect living being, right? We respect life of every, even the animal, even the tiny bug, right? But other religion, they believe that animal pray for human. Is that inversion?
Yeah, I would say so. That's one expression of inversion, is coming to that conclusion.
And also, well, God are the creator who create everything. But the Buddha said that the 7 property create everything. Is that inversion? Or when we say God are the creator?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it seems that we're kind of. My understanding is that in the Buddhist cosmology view, that chakra played a role, but chakra depended upon those 7 properties already being existent, being there to use to create. So yeah,
to be exhausted, right? His 7 property come to exhausted. Having the blessing, right? So and we see that when the people have greedy mind or hatred, that's why whatever they do is inversion, right? Like Putin. Anyway, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I can even see I clearly see those in my own mind. Like it can be like my wife and I just got in a a disagreement today. It was like, we're going to take pictures. And I was like, oh, let's take pictures here. She didn't want to take pictures there because there were people around. So she's like, no, let's go take it somewhere else. And I like got hung up on it being like silly. Like, what does it matter if there are people around? Let's just take the picture. Like, why can't we take a picture here rather than just letting it go? And ended up causing this, whole big thing over it. Out of like just not being mindful, not really seeing what's
Yeah.
important in the moment.
You see that's very important, right? When we
Yeah.
understand that inversion and not inversion, if we clearly understand about the Buddha teaching, we should sympathize them.
Mm-hmm.
We should easy with other. So well, it doesn't matter. Picture here or there doesn't matter. Okay, if you don't want here, okay, we can go there. That's not a big
Yeah.
deal, right? So
Yeah.
if we still stuck with that, then that means we are the one who caused the problem,
Mm-hmm.
not her. We, right?
Yeah.
That so well, that is a good lesson that we learn. So next time we can be able to make things better. Mm.
Yeah.
So remember, whatever we do, we have to deal with the loving kindness and compassion, especially with the one who have the close affinity with us. We don't want, well, if we already have good affinity together, we try not to create negative affinity between us, among others. And also, it's not easy, yeah. Sometimes that we absent mind, we can cause a lot of problem. And what about if the people do not understand the Buddha teaching? They can cause a lot of harm to others and also themselves, like Putin. Mm. And the family matter is always have a conflict due to this. So, but the good thing is we understand the Buddha teaching, so we still working on it. So we are not perfect, and it's okay. We don't want to be perfect, but we working on it. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We okay now. Yeah.
Of the O Great King right there, right? Or as the
Uh, mm,
I think we're at O Great King as the Tathagata thoroughly makes away with the evil characteristics. We say that the Buddha is inconceivable. The grave sin that start with the lower part. Okay. O Great King, hear me a while. A Brahmin had a son called non-harming. Because he had killed so many people, he was called Angulimalya. He also thought of killing his own mother. When he gained an evil state of mind, his body also shook. The shaking of body and mind is a sign of the 5 deadly sins. In consequence of the 5 deadly sins, one unfailingly falls into hell. Later on seeing the Buddha, his body and mind shook. He thought of harming the Buddha. The shaking of body and mind bespeaks the 5 deadly sins. Due to the 5 deadly sins, one unfailingly falls into hell. This person, having met the great teacher Tathagata, was able to do away with the cause of hell and aspire to unsurpassed enlightenment. For this reason, we say that the Buddha is the unsurpassed doctor. He is not of the kind of the 6 masters.
okay. Okay. Stop right there.
Yeah, so here, this is Javaka is telling King Ajatasatru about another case of someone who was helped by the Buddha. And in this case, this person had killed many people. And he
You
also,
know the angular Himalaya, right?
it rings a bell, but I don't recall any details about it.
Really?
It just sounds faintly familiar. It's not the person who killed like 100 people, is it? And like wore a
Yeah,
necklace.
he the one that listen to his teacher. If you want to become enlightened, you need to kill 1,000 people, and each person you need to. Oh no, you need to cut a finger
Mhm.
of each person and up to 1,000 in order for you to enlighten. So basically, he do that. He listened to his teacher. He very intelligent. He very smart, but because he lively listened to his teacher, because his teacher is very jealous of his intelligence. Yeah.
Mm.
And so what he did is he go out and he stopped the people to cut the finger. So up to the point that he cannot hold it, and he make the necklace and he put on his neck, right? So
Mhm.
he collect the finger, and he collect 999 finger already. The last one is he can fulfill his wish. So that's the time that means his mom tried to find him, so to stop him doing the killing, right? And the Buddha know that if I'm not stop him right now, and he kill his mom, and he will not be able to have a chance to enlighten, to attend the Arhat. So it's not too late. I will be there. I will help him. So basically, the 1,000 person is the Buddha, and you know what? He saw the Buddha, and he tried to trace after the Buddha, and Buddha he cannot be able to catch the Buddha, and he said that, hey, you stop, and the Buddha said that I have stopped long time ago. You are the one who not stopped. And he said, what do you mean? I run almost exhausted and I cannot be able to catch you. And you say you stop, you keep moving. The Buddha said, no, I mean, I stopped killing for a long time. You are the one not stopped yet. And when the first time in his life, to be able to hear this kind of teaching, and he suddenly wake him up and he kneel down. And you know what? He followed the Buddha, and not too long he be able to attend the Arhat. If he not be able, if he not have a chance to see the Buddha, I think he will fail in the hell after he dead. But seeing the Buddha, he can be able to avoid hell. So is that against the law of the cause and effect?
Hmm. Well, I mean, he cultivated a lot of good causes after. So he'd had negative causes, and he still will have karma ripen because of that. But um, it can be kind of balanced to a certain extent with like good actions, and then but like consciousness as well, so that the way that the karma is repaid is if someone's consciousness changes for the better, then like they can repay their karma in a with less suffering.
Okay, this is we need to understand this one in the law of cause and effect. If we do understand the law of cause and effect, then you will understand this one. The Buddhist law of cause and effect, they have three components: the cause, the condition, and the effect. The cause doesn't mean he killed so many people. That is a bad cause, right? Remember, the cause already done. The condition is the thing that he's doing right now. Also, that will also become the cause. the same time also become the condition for the next thing. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the condition is right now, he met the Buddha and he practiced the Buddha teaching. This will become the cause for the future, but also the condition for the cause in the past. Therefore, the cause plus the condition, it will give you the effect. The bad cause doesn't mean that it will lead you to the bad effect. But the good cause, it doesn't mean that it will lead you to the good effect. Because it will depend on the condition. You remember the trailing, right?
Yes.
The first link is the ignorant. The ignorant is the cause and also the condition for the mental formation to arise. The mental formation that means karma, that is the effect of the ignorance. But the mental formation is the cause and the condition for the consciousness to arise. The consciousness is the effect. It's also the cause and the condition for the name and form to arise. That's why the law of cause and effect in Buddhism is so beautiful. It means that even though we pray a very terrible karma, if we have a good a chance to see the good, to meet the good advisor or the good teacher, we can turn around.
Yeah, I've had an experience like this. It like matches with this. Is I'd had a turning point in that like the end of 8th grade, where that's when I discovered Zen Buddhism and started practicing. But before that, I was pretty self-absorbed, didn't really think about other people very much, and like willing to engage in conflict with other guys my age. And I guess I made some people kind of unhappy, but I was would have been like after my discovering Buddhism and having practiced for a few years, or like maybe like 2 years or so. I was driving home on my bike, and there were some people that apparently knew me from somebody. I didn't know these people, but they were really upset with me. And I don't even know what it was about, but I guess it was one of their friends didn't like me from the past, and they were called me over. Really, like at first I didn't realize they were upset because they just called me over, so I kind of went over like, oh, what's going on? And they were expecting me to be totally different. They were like expecting a different person, and I was just kind of really calm and non-threatening and pretty scrawny because I had gone vegetarian and wasn't eating a ton or anything, and nothing happened. But like as I biked away, I'm like, wow, that could have gone like if I hadn't had made these changes, I probably would have gotten beat up that day unless I just didn't stop. I don't know. So
That's good. So the bad cause in the past, due to your good attitude, that means the condition in the present give you the good result. Well, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, we can stop right here. Wonderful.
thank you, Tay.
Before, I do not really understand about the law of cause and effect in the way that we understand right now. I thought the cause and the effect, but now I really understand the condition, the most important of all. Okay, go ahead.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward, May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Yeah, thank you. So if other religion, they only understand the law of cause and effect, only two components. This is the inversion. Compared with the Buddhist law of cause and effect, that means three components. The cause, the condition, and the effect. Okay. All right.